out there. I am your host, and we are back again. That's right. I am Jessica Koch, and this is Profound Professionals. It is the interview series that has been coming to you for 8 years now. Yes, we have been bringing you global experts from all over the world that help improve your personal life or grow your business. Today, we have okay, help me because I've asked you before the show to pronounce your name.
I was waiting for it. I was gonna figure out, is she gonna say it or is she gonna
Adrianna,
Adrianna, yes.
Adrianna.
Adrianna
I knew
Onubogu.
that.
Yes.
To talk about real life happens in our podcast.
Yes.
Adrianna is an author and she is a transformation speaker and a life coach that helps women transform after going through some of the big stuff in life, that big major stuff that happens in life, things like divorce and breakups and even marriage, even fresh new marriage. So she is her person. If your world looks way different than it did last year or a few months ago, then she is the person for you. So welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you, even though I may not have started us out on
It's okay.
the best of all things. I think we were just talking about that, how it makes the for the best of it makes
Yes.
the best of shows.
Not scripted.
That's right. We did not plan this, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
So, talk to us how this process of transformation became what you decided you were going to spend your life on.
Yes. So it started with going through my own divorce.
Ugh.
And prior to my divorce, I was a teen mom. I got pregnant on my first time. And as you can imagine, I went through a lot of transformations from the time I was 17 years old until I was divorced around, I think, 26 years old. So that time for me personally was such a big change in my life. And it allowed me
Learning
to,
curve.
yeah, a true learning curve.
You just got to learn it all
I
at
learned
once.
so much about myself, so much about others, so much about men. I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
So that stage of my life really showed me, especially my divorce with having kids. I went into my marriage with one child from being a teen mom.
Mm-hmm.
And in that marriage, I had two more kids. So then I left out the marriage with three kids. So as you can imagine, I had a lot of things going on in my mind. I was uncertain about a lot of things. I didn't know what my life was going to look like, where it was headed, what the heck I was doing. So it forced me to really do what I should have been doing all along, which is really just reflecting and assessing the decisions that I was making in life. And from there, it helped me truly understand what other women may be going through that they don't get to talk about, because we don't really get to see a lot of representation of like the before and after. Sometimes we just see the after, like, yeah, I'm married. And it's like, yeah, but how did you get there? Like, how did you get over all the things to get you to that point? So that experience truly is the foundation of what brought me into being a life coach.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I actually had a similar situation. I'm in my second marriage of 26 years now. I am madly in love with my hot hunky husband. 26 years, 7 children, 8 grandchildren, and he was married 9 years the first time. I was married 7. Both our spouses left us for other people. He had 2 children. I had 4 children, and then we had one together. So, in a sense, I've been some of the places you've been, not all the places you've been, but I've been some of the places you've been. So,
yes, know that you told me everything I need to know. That means we're here. You know exactly where I'm coming from.
I get it. Matter of fact, when I had 3 toddlers and I was 2 weeks pregnant after 7 years of marriage, and my husband left me. And I didn't have my first kid till I was 21. I didn't have it till after we were married. He was my high school sweetheart, but but anyway, I was church hopping. Like every day I was going to a church. I mean, I'm Christian. I didn't care what denomination it was. it was instead of bar hopping and instead of using other substances, this was how I was getting through the day. Like every day I had to soak myself in a service somewhere and I didn't care how you did it, just needed to go.
That's what I'm talking about.
I knew the schedule of everyone in driving distance, so daily I could go. And then the other thing I did as a coping mechanism was because I knew in my brain that I couldn't let myself get sucked into sadness because I
Yes.
was carrying a baby, and I knew that that would affect that child.
Mm-hmm.
And so the other thing I did was I took, you know, if I am, this was a while back. I'm going to age myself.
Okay.
But I took a correspondence course where like literally they mailed you a big notebook in the mail and you took the test and then I mailed them back to them. And I think it was in like I got certified as a home inspector. Do you think I ever did home inspections? No. This was
Wow.
yes, I did. I got an A in the course. I had something to focus on. I needed a
Mm-hmm.
distraction and I wanted it to be a positive distraction. So that's what I did.
Yes, I did similar things. I feel like we are almost the same person. I truly, in that stage of my life, I kind of focused a lot on real estate, trying to get my license, trying to
Mhm,
just, figure out where to put this energy because
mhm,
during basically we had a separation baby. So
mm,
the last child
mhm,
got here and we only stayed together as long as we did because she was born and we didn't even make it to a year. So I was trying my best also to
mhm,
not be sad, depressed. I really
mhm,
feel like I ended up dealing with postpartum, but I was too afraid to get checked because I knew if it was true that I didn't feel like I could rely on anybody to take care of me. So I was going through the motions, but I
mhm,
kept trying to find something, anything to keep me from just spiraling. So I
mhm,
completely get that. It's like, nope, I have a baby now. Now I have a little one. So when I went through a divorce, she was still in diapers.
mhm,
And I was like, I have a baby on my hip. I have a child from a whole different relationship. And then I have a middle child who's like getting out of pull ups. What is going on here?
and like I had three. Well, by the time we were already divorced a year, my baby was 6 months old because she was only I was only a few weeks along when he left,
Mm-hmm.
and because it was he left me for someone else in our state, the divorce was pretty quick, and
Oh,
so
that's good.
I had
Yeah.
already been divorced a year, and I had a 6 months old. Do the math with that.
Wow. Yeah. My divorce was quick too. My divorce was on his birthday. It was
Oh my
finalized on his birthday during the holiday season. I was like, wow, 30 days. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
ours
lot.
was fast, and yeah, it was a lot. So, and I was in the same situation. I had a brand new baby,
Mm-hmm.
um, and he had a brand new girlfriend he moved in with. So, it was difficult to be the woman left with all the babies and all the diapers,
Yes.
all
All the
the responsibility,
responsibility.
and
Mm-hmm.
it was scary. So now talk to us more about how you're helping your clients through your journey, and ideal customer, and who is really just the best match for you to support.
Yes. So my ideal customer, most of the women that come to me are high achieving, ambitious, amazing women. These are women who have acquired a lot in their careers and real estate and all the things, but they poured so much into that area that they had blinders when it came to choosing men. And a
Mm,
lot of times they picked men not because of finances, because they already had that part taken care of, and they
mhm,
went off of their emotions.
mm,
And I help them, for one, give themselves grace because a lot of them are the most reliable people in their family. So all they know is to make things happen and to just keep
mhm,
going. So I help them just breathe for a second
mhm,
and allow themselves to be vulnerable because many times they never have the opportunity to be vulnerable.
mhm,
And I help them, again, give themselves grace because they blame themselves a lot.
mhm,
But I will say they end up being the type of people who are ready to get unstuck, who are ready to say, you know what, I want to leave this baggage here because I know I deserve better. I know maybe the part I played, maybe I don't know, but I know that it wasn't all his fault. There are things
mhm,
I could have done. But I won't tell him that. I'll tell
Mhm.
you, but I won't tell him. And they are ready to just completely change their lives. And it
Mhm.
starts inward. It starts with them believing that they're worthy still. Because when you go through a divorce and you have children, you
Mhm.
are uncertain of your worth. You are uncertain of if you're the problem, if you're boring, if you're pretty still, if all of the things you start to just really put a mirror to yourself and you criticize harshly. So I help them see parts of them that may have gone dormant because of the relationship that they were in. And I help them not allow that relationship hold them emotionally hostage.
Mhm.
Because a lot of times when you go through something like that, it makes it very difficult for you to try again
Mhm.
because you think everyone is like your ex.
Mhm.
But what I will say is I don't have any clients who was married to someone and he was the one that got away. All of
Mhm.
them were men that they told me, you know what, I knew I shouldn't have married him, but I
Mhm.
did it because of XYZ. So I
Mhm.
help them understand that, hey, you can't say that all men are like this now because you were with someone that you kind of known that you shouldn't have been with, but
Mhm.
maybe you had wishful thinking, or maybe you just, I don't know, the heart wants what it wants, and you weren't really being considerate of not just where you are as a woman at the time, but where you were going. So
Mhm.
let's not use that relationship to cut off any possibility of love. Instead, let's use it as a blueprint to find your husband, because that's what I did. And I will tell them all the time, the blueprint doesn't just work for me. I ended up meeting my husband on a dating site a year after my divorce. And he took on me and my 3 kids. He was also divorced as well. He had 2 kids. So we're a blended family of 7. And
That is so crazy.
that's
He
why I
had
was
two.
laughing
I
when
had
you said
four.
that.
We had one together. That's so crazy.
It's so crazy, but it's such a beautiful thing for my kids to be able to see what I wish they would have been able to see if I would have done it right the first time. So I hope my
Mhm.
clients understand that. I know it's not in the way you envision things, but there is possibility beyond the circumstances that you were in, but you have to get out your own way first. You have to make
Mhm.
room for it. You have to believe it exists. And most importantly, you have to believe that you're worthy of it in the first place.
Well, I think it's important for someone to find someone to work with like you because for me, I believe, I mean, really, I think it was only the hand of God that kept me from, because I was really in a place where I was risk for repeating that pattern, right? So many women are in a relationship that isn't healthy for them and then just go find another one just
Yes.
like it. And I was fortunate that that didn't happen to me, but it wasn't because I had a blueprint and or a great
Mhm.
coach like maybe I should have, you know. And so so talk to us about how you're working with them. Is it one-on-one? Is it group? Is it all virtual? Is some in person? Is it a hybrid? How are you working with your clients?
So I work mostly with them. There's group coaching and there's one-on-one coaching. And my one-on-one coaching focuses on 90 days.
Mhm.
I did a few trials where we did like 30 days, but I'd noticed that the things that we did together, they
Mhm.
stuck more when it was within that 60 to 90 day time frame, because the beginning stages, the first 30 days, we are heavily working on mindset.
Mhm.
Mindset, mindset, mindset. Those limiting beliefs, the self-doubt,
Mhm. Breaking
all of
old
those.
habits,
Oh my
starting
goodness.
habits.
Yes,
Yes.
creating new habits, and
Mhm.
then trusting yourself, your intuition, your discernment, not feeling like you don't know how to make good decisions. It's a lot of work. So I work with them for 90 days, and we do about 2 calls a week, and
Mhm.
they have assignments and homework. And I'll tell them before they get started, this is not a hobby. This is something that you have to truly commit to, because
Mhm.
I dig very deep with my clients. And I've had
Mhm.
one of my clients tell me, like, oh my God, I feel like I'm going through a detox. Like, and she was going through her second
Mhm.
divorce. And I was like, I know, but I'm here because if you don't get it right now, your kids are older and they're watching.
They are.
Somebody has to set the foundation for them. Because if
Mhm.
you don't do it, they'll just repeat the same patterns and cycles as you, because there's no example. So we work hard and together, but with lots of love,
Mhm.
um, in that intimate setting.
Do you want to give a website where they can find how to get involved in a program or when your next
Yes.
events or things might be coming
Yeah,
up?
absolutely. You can visit my website, adriannaonubogu.com.
Mhm.
And I know it's kind of long. So it's Adrianna with two N's.
And not an easy one to
Right?
spell either. Boy, you made it hard with that website.
Yeah, I know.
Don't worry if you're listening to this podcast. We have it in a custom article about her.
Yes.
We're going to have it in the notes in the description and all the different places you're seeing this go live right now. All right. So now give our audience a tip, something that they can use to improve their lives today.
Let's see. What would be my biggest tip? I would probably have to say that just because something happened to you doesn't mean it's become who you are. You get
Mhm.
to choose. You can choose to allow that situation to be a part of your story or
Sure.
just a part of you. It's
Mhm.
truly up to you. And there's a lot of beauty in a lot of the pain that we go through. You may not see it in the moment, but over time, as you really self reflect and
Mhm.
heal, and I don't just mean just journaling and going on vacation, but you
Mhm.
really take the time to
Mhm.
say, how did I get here? What did I have control over versus what didn't I have control over? Like,
Mhm.
what is it? What do I accept responsibility for? And how do I make sure this never happens again? Your life will never look the same
Mhm.
ever. So please know that you do have a choice. There are things that may have been out of your control, but you get to choose how you are going to use that pain to map out a blueprint for what the rest of your life is going to look like.
And truthfully, I so rarely even talk about that other part of my life. And I when I do describe it, I sometimes feel like I'm talking about someone else. You know,
Me too.
I'm in like such a great place in my world,
Yes.
and it just seems like, wow, that must be somebody else's
Yeah,
story.
I completely agree. There are things that I've talked to my husband about, and he was like, "You went through that?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"I forgot. I guess I did.
I know it
I
does
guess so."
every now and then something triggers or pops up and
Yes.
you're like, "Oh yeah, I went through that."
Mhm.
But it's good when you have someone healthy and loving that you can share it with and
I
then just let
agree.
it go, just release
Yes.
it, you know?
Release it. It's not worth
Mm-mm.
letting another person hold you hostage emotionally.
Mm-mm.
It's so not worth it.
For sure. All right, all of you out there, you have been following us and watching. You know what comes next in our show. Get typing in the comments and share with us a cause that is close to your heart. We do this part of the show since the very first episode because we're hoping that we can inspire someone to give time, treasure, or talent to a cause that our guests watching type in, our guests speaking here, share with us. And maybe even we'll just inspire them to remember that they have a cause that's close to their own heart and they just
Mhm.
hadn't thought about it in a while. You get busy with your day-to-day life and they go, oh yeah, maybe I should check on them and see what they need and how can I help. So if we can inspire someone to do something good today with our podcast, then you know what, I think we all win that way. So share with us a cause that you care about.
I care so much about helping young girls develop their confidence, their
Mhm.
self-esteem, and their self-love.
Mhm.
Because a lot of the problems we deal with as adults stem from us not having it when we were younger. So I love to give back and give that mentorship, that guidance, even helping other teen moms who have been in a
Mhm.
situation like myself, who are unsure about what their lives are going to look like. But I love giving back and helping those young girls understand that they have a choice, they have
Mhm.
a voice, and no is a full sentence that needs no
Mhm.
explanation, and that there's no rush. I love being able to just pour into those type of young ladies and just be a part of any community where they are pouring into young teenage girls. I love that so much.
That's awesome. I love that. All right, keep typing. You know what's next. Now it's our other segment that I love and adore. That are books, books that inspired your personal life or helped you grow your business. If you're out there listening and you're an author, put your book in the comments, hit that share button, and someone else might be kind enough to hit that share button too. And we could get you featured and your book promoted. Or if you just want to share with us a book that inspired your personal life or helped you grow your business, they always say that book you need the most shows up the moment you need it. That teacher, that instructor, that piece of information, when you're ready for it, it pops into your world. So put it out there. We want to hear from you and know the books that you love. So tell us a book that inspired your personal life or helped you grow your business.
Oh my goodness. The Millionaire Next Door was
Mm.
a game changer for me.
Mhm.
It was also a book that my now husband and we read together, listening to the audiobook. We lived like an hour and a half away from each other. So we would go chapter by chapter and like, did you get to this part? That book is just it's eye-opening, especially if you believe in legacy. If you believe in truly living a life within your means, but also thinking of the future and what you can do. That I always recommend. I love that book. That book, my kids are gonna have to read that book as they become teenagers. It was amazing.
I have books and programs and things that I'm going to even require our adult children and our grandchildren in order to receive access to some of their trust funding, because there
That's
are books
smart.
that will change your life, and sometimes they need that extra little incentive to read it, to complete it, to work with someone, to do something. And I just think there are so many, and I think my children, my adult children and grandchildren will be open to it. But sometimes that extra push. I was listening to Zig Ziglar, I think, program, and he was saying that one of the students came into his seminar because he was living with his uncle, and he's like, "Look, you're living here rent free. I'm paying for you to go to the seminar. Just go to the seminar." And the gentleman, the young man, only took one thing away from the whole seminar, and that was to read something to help improve himself 30 minutes every day. Well, he ended up being this great success story, going back to Zig Ziglar and telling him his whole story. But it all became because there was that little gentle, okay, I'm paying for you to go to this, and go and get something out of it. And he just, he sat in the back of the class, didn't really take notes, but one thing stuck with him, and he actually took action on it. And so I feel like, we want to inspire the people in our world. So I love that. I love that you shared that. And what a great book to share with us. Now, you're an author, so talk to us about your book.
So I actually just finished 2 books,
Oh,
but
yay!
yes, I'm so excited about them. I do have a book now called The Breakup Blueprint: How to Heal, Move On, and Let Go in 90 Days. And I just wrapped up 2 books. One is called Becoming Miss Happily Ever After, a healing woman's guide to embrace good love in her life and not self-sabotage, because that is a thing. Self-sabotaging when something nice comes in and you're like, what is this? I don't know. I did that, and my husband got so tired of me, like, what's wrong with you? And then my second book is I think, what did I call it? The First Year? I can't remember. I've written too many in like 6 months. It's the first year. So it helps women know what to do that first year after divorce so that they're not lost.
Well, that's good. That's sort of like the concept of what to expect when you're expecting and what to expect the first year. Also, books I leaned on as a brand new mama.
Exactly.
So that's a great concept. I love that. I've never heard anyone doing that. So I think that'll be a great and useful tool.
Me
So
too.
that is good. It has been so nice to have you on the show
Thank
today.
you so much. I'm so happy to be here. It was great meeting you. I feel like we are like twins.
I know, right? I'm thinking the same thing. I cannot believe how parallel our stories
I
are.
know.
And ladies and gentlemen, we just first met, obviously, because
Right.
my football season, right? My football fumble in the first half of the show.
Yes.
We ended it with the touchdown, so we're good. And I think we're even using the right sports terminology.
I
So now
know. I
that
was
is
gonna say
working
you did
out.
good. You did good because I would have messed it up.
Not my gift. But I will say, if you're out there and you're an author or you're helping someone improve their personal life or grow their business, and you think, wait, I should be on this show, I'm saying, yeah, I think you probably should too. Reach out to our team. We'll let you know just how to get signed up and be on Profound Professionals too. Now, before we say goodbye today, we are going to ask you to share with us final thought, a piece of information or inspiration as we close out today.
Yes, please keep going, whether
Mhm,
it's in your career, whether it's trying to be that well balanced mom, whether it's
mhm,
trying again after divorce,
mhm,
whether it's being a single mom, whether it's entering into that second marriage with all of the things that you thought you let go, but you still have all the triggers, whatever it is, keep going.
mhm,
If it's what your heart desires, you deserve all the love. After
mhm,
everything that you may have experienced, please know that you are deserving of whatever it is that you desire. The only thing that will be in your way is you. So let's not
mhm.
do that.
I love that. Our final inspiration is stay out of your own way. You
Yes.
can do this. You deserve this. And thank you again so much for being on our
Thank
show
you for
today.
having me.
And as always, I am your host, Jessica Koch. And until the next Profound Professionals, be kind to yourself out there and be kind to each other. Bye, everybody.